commit to an intensive program, is there a way to, obviously with summer when the heat and the rains come, you have to be on top of it anyway.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to have a preemptive strike, I suppose August is the time to do it, where you would really try and decimate your mucky bin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What can properties that are close to water do? Because I mean that's also a prime area for midges and mosquitoes.
Yeah. So that's where something like a wettable powder type of product on the walls works quite well, because the wettable powder is also more robust against things that break down actives. I don't know if a lot of the listeners know, but stuff like UV light breaks down actives, obviously rain and dust as well. So dusts actually cover the product.
Yeah.
So if you spray,
it's quite a hostile environment.
Yeah,
horses
especially well in Africa. So.
Africa's a hostile environment. I like that.
But with the midges, it's almost, I find that it's very difficult to control them in the environment because they're around the water, and unless you start throwing like DDT into the water, which obviously you don't do, then it's very difficult to control them. Or I've heard a lot of people draining, the water and actually,
don't buy a property by water.
Yeah, but I mean, people actually have gone and drained the water. And with regards to the midges, and AHS, it's interesting because you'll see that it will start off in like Pretoria North, that area around there, because actually that's where, like in the 1890s, where Arnold Tyler came from the UK, like that's actually where he set up base at Onderstepoort to study the diseases there, and that's where he found AHS and rinderpest, which he managed to get rid of rinderpest, so there's still hope for AHS. And what you'll find on the maps, because when the diseases come out and they report the epidemiology maps, you start seeing it. It starts moving from that area, then going like through Hearties, then it starts coming up. And then you can actually plot it and you can see, okay, this area is going to get hit next. So, and that's all with the rain and the water, because it's a lot, warmer down there and a lot more water. So it's completely environmental. And with your midges, to me, what's important is keeping your horses away from those high risk times during the day, like your dusk and your dawn, because that's when the temperature goes low and that's where the midges come out.
So control the environment as much as you can.
Yeah, that's where you're controlling your animals in the environment. So, with the midges, putting on your DEET, and remember DEET is a repellent, so you can also put on an insecticide over that as well.
And I suppose fans
like
and shields are the big
fans to obviously with that wind movement, the midges get affected, and then the shields, like putting screens on your
shade nets.
But you can spray those shade nets down, with maybe something a bit more effective.
Do you remember the I don't know if it's a mosquito machine. It was I feel like it was sold to horse communities as a midge magnet. I think that might actually be what the name was, midge, and it was a machine that you had to put like 40 meters away from the stable block.
Yeah.
And you turned it on. I think it was gas, and it actually was meant to attract, and then you would have to empty out the bag of midges.
Well, the midges
every afternoon.
Are cool because like the way that you study them is you put these midge traps up. And they found that the midge traps are the midges go towards like shapes. So they put these.
Is it a horse shape?
It's like it looks like a large animal shape, like a cow or horse or whatever, and then they attracted to that and the CO2. So it's very like shape orientated as well. They kind of target those large shapes.
That's the CO2 that attracts the carbon dioxide.
That and also some ticks are also. So ticks, you get predator ticks.
Those flying ticks.
The flying ticks. But I mean, you get predator ticks that actually are attracted to CO2. So you can take a CO2 block, like a dry ice block, and you can put it in the felt, and you'll see that some ticks will start coming towards it. It's cool.
That's great.